What is your American dream?
My American dream is to always feel that we can be ourselves and be accepted being different. That's my American dream, where we can finally embrace differences, accept differences, and include differences.
Well, of course, achieving American dreams would be to have a house, a car, but I already have all that. So now it's more like sort of leaving a legacy behind, and again, helping one another, getting to know more people, trying to do good.
This is my dream, to build this organization, to build as well a group for immigrant women, and make everyone happy.
My American dream is to be able to write more. That's what I would like to do, and help my community.
Everyone has a right to the American dream.
Groundhog Sam! Oh! Hello, everybody! Sherlock Groundhog Sam here! Yep, today I'm Sherlock Sam. Because did you miss yesterday's episode of Bradshaw Live? Well, in case you did, someone's been coming into the studio and moving the cameras. So I'm here to investigate the situation with my blue light. I'm all over it. I don't know. This looks like long hair. I don't think it's from me. Could be the culprit. I'm gonna call the detectives, get them on this. I think Sherlock Sam needs some help. Hello? 911? I would like to report a break-in. Yes, a break-in at Bradshaw Live in the studio. My name is Groundhog Sam. Groundhog Sam, what, you don't understand? You need me to spell it? Okay. G for Great Groundhog, R for Ruh-roh, somebody broke into the Bradshaw Live studio. O for oh my God, someone broke into the Bradshaw Live studio.
5 minutes later.
And then another G, again, as in Great Groundhog, and then Sam, S as in somebody broke into the studio. A as in somebody broke into the studio. And M for Miss, please send somebody quick. Somebody broke into the studio. Got it? Okay, thank you. I'll be waiting for them. Thank you. Very good. Okay, so the police are going to be here any minute. I can't wait. Okay, I'm waiting. Oh, hey, wait a minute. Isn't that lucky? That's who the NYPD sends? That's ridiculous. Well, okay, come with me. You're going to be the Watson to my Sherlock. Come on. Hey, Lucky. Wait, I'm in charge. Stop going so fast. Remember, I'm in charge. I'm Sherlock and you're Watson. Don't forget it. Okay, well, this is going to be a very tricky investigation, I can tell. I hope my four-legged Watson is up for this. 4 legs. Well, who am I to talk? I got 4 legs, too. Stay tuned to find out who moved the cameras. I'm sure Lucky and I will be able to figure it out. I don't know, maybe me and Lucky, maybe they're going to make a movie about us. We'd be like Lethal Weapon or Beverly Hills Cop. Yeah, that's it. 48 hours. I can see it now. Groundhog Sam and Lucky the dog. Anyway, on yesterday's episode, besides the fact that somebody's been moving the cameras, Abadir Barre came on to talk to Brad about green cards and how people can call Spar and Bernstein in order to get help in getting their green card cases moved along quicker. Because in the time of Trump, don't be a chump. Get your immigration status resolved, people. Don't wait. And now's the time you've all been waiting for. It's time for Bradshaw Live, starring Brad Bernstein with co-hosts Belgium Kim and Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias. Enjoy. Maybe Jonathan could be in the movie with us too. Tango and Cash type of movie. We'll see. Big dreams. Let's just get to the bottom of this investigation first.
Welcome, everybody. Tuesday, April 16th. I thought Pat Rice fixed my collar. What is this?
Look at that. One of them.
What,
the
she
other
came
side.
and said it was all fixed.
That's true, she did. She said
What is this? As Groundhog Sam would say, now it's all fixed. My name is Brad Bernstein.
Hello.
Your name is Belgium
Hey.
Kim. Your name is Jonathan Yo-Yo
Groundhog
Elias.
Sam
And
fixed
together,
everything.
And together, the three of us put on a show called Brad Show Live. Hello!
Hey.
Why don't you say hello to everybody?
What's up, Brad Squad? Woo!
What's up, family? Oh, this is, again, taking some
Yeah,
risks
so
here.
Groundhog Sam definitely helped us out because yesterday, I don't know if you guys noticed, but our 3-shot was just real wacky.
Yes. Real
Lighting was off.
Correct.
Now I feel great.
It looks so much better,
you
right?
see the melanin,
Right?
You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's, I'm really rooting for Groundhog Sam.
We
now.
even
like,
changed the signs in the back. Look, you can actually see it. Spar and Bernstein,
Look at
right?
that. I didn't even
I
know
like that.
that.
Did you notice that?
Nah,
Right,
nah,
look, Spar Bernstein right in between.
Right.
Let's go to the 2-shot. And there is, oh, that's the 1-shot. Spar Bernstein, you can read it. 2-shot. No, that's the 1-shot.
The other one. That's
The
us.
other one.
Two
There
shots,
you
two
go.
people.
There you go.
Hey.
You know what happened? I'll tell you what happened.
What?
I had to sit down with Julian, the TriCaster guy.
You did.
And I said, Julian,
Yeah.
okay, you can only have one job. You can either be selling ice cream or you can be running the TriCaster. Apparently, he
What did he
chose the
decide?
TriCaster.
There it is.
He said there's more money in TriCaster.
He don't like
Wow,
that.
you don't
He
like
doesn't
that. So I sat down with Jenny from the cubicle.
Right.
And I said, Jenny from the cubicle, you can either
Right.
assist Julian selling ice cream.
Right.
Or be Jenny from the cubicle.
How'd that go? She's out here serving soft serve as we speak.
Well, Julian's not speaking for Jenny then.
That's true.
By the way, before we say hello to the squad, let's say hello to the squad first. How's that? Mia Montauk, squad up, everybody. Christine Bennett, Dembasau, Pauline Williams, Tamika Nelson, how are you? Lisa Bling Rose. Yeah, Uncle Brad, he's here. Balloon.
Yeah.
And by the way, Sandra Salinas lost 2 pounds in the Brad Challenge. We're going to get to that in a minute. We're going to get to the Brad Challenge. We're going to get to the Brad Challenge in a minute. Willie L. Williams, peace all. Emma Kram Rezor. Finally, my favorite show is here. Carol Anderson, the Tiger. Lisa Bling, I said. Christy Consali. Dawn Harriet. Patrona Collins. I haven't mentioned her name all week, I don't think.
That's true. I don't think you have
LaVon D. Tucker. Straight from her award-winning performance. In whatever she wants to be doing. Jessica Leamy, how are you? And who else do we have here? Anybody else that I miss? I'm going through very quickly. Diane Moore. Sharon Bolden says, squad up. Oyin Adekanambi is just mentioning his friend Bola. Says he just mentioned Bola. Rod J. Roberts. This groundhog is delusional.
Rock J has been the biggest groundhog hater.
Yes,
and
he
I
is.
don't know if it's real anymore.
It's not real. He loves the groundhog.
I think he
I
does
think he
too.
does too
I think
now.
he does.
He loves the groundhog because he wouldn't come and watch the groundhog if he didn't love the groundhog.
Right.
He'd show up 10 minutes late if he hated the groundhog as much as he says he does.
I'm thinking that you actually do like
You like
Groundhog.
him. You like him. You like him a little bit, Rock
Just
J.
a little bit.
Zane Supermom Gooden, how are you? Marge Higgs. She is our official statistician.
Yes.
She is.
All right, of the Brad Squad, the official statistician of the Brad Squad, brought to you every night by Marge Higgs. And there is 15 shares already. Thank you, Marge. Tanisha McNabb, how are you? And Devon Sr., Cordella Douglas, and Tanisha McNabb, all on Facebook.
Why does Margie say I seem to be invisible?
I just said she's the
I know.
official
Glamour.
Grandma,
She's
we done gave you a whole title.
she's the official statistician.
Right.
Yeah.
Not
She
only,
has not everyone in the Brad Squad has a title.
she has a nickname and a title.
That's right.
She's
I mean, how much
Grandma,
better can
the
you get?
statistician.
How much better can you get than that, right?
Come on.
She wants her name back here as well.
Spar Bernstein, Glamour.
She wants Glamour Live. All right, Glamour Live, and then the three of us will be the correspondents.
Every day we just show up for 2 hours saying thanks for letting us be here, Glamour.
And on YouTube, Jean Love. How are you, Marcine Frazier? Carol, the Top Cat, Tigress 2 Anderson. How are you, Bevan Smith? Princess Black, Audrey Miller, Tyreek, Legacy TV.
Ooh.
Coming in with a question, but I won't mention it right now. But we're going to get to all of your questions in a little bit. Dewan Babu says it's a nice show.
Oh,
It's a nice little show here we got here, right,
Thank
Dewan?
you.
Thank you.
It's a
Dewan.
nice little show we got
right.
here. Back it up, Ricky. How are you? Aaliyah Francois says, hi, everyone. Uncle Brad, I'm so happy to catch up with you again. Either peace or, I guess that's peace, right?
Yeah, that's peace.
Or bunny hand. Was that bunny or peace?
She's not bunny ears.
She's
to
not
you.
bunny ears.
No,
She's not
she's
bunny
definitely
ears.
not
doing
bunny
a
ears.
piece.
Okay.
No.
Princess Black, time for fun. Yulette Wilson and Sexy Shan Myers. How are you all? Now, before we get into our schmooze and asking everybody to share, yesterday I had mentioned, but I'd like to mention it again because I have been so honored that we were really honored by the Webbies.
Right.
Right? And the Webbies, for those of you who don't know, is the most prestigious awards for the internet in the entire world for best variety show.
Right.
In the world.
In the world.
On the internet.
Right.
They picked 5 extraordinarily popular shows, including Jimmy Fallon,
Yep.
Tonight Show, Star Wars by Lucasfilms, that's literally Star Wars.
Yep.
Iceland,
Viceland.
Viceland, excuse
Yep.
me. John Krasinski, who's a famous actor.
Yep. We're very fan.
And who did I miss there?
That's Vice Live, I believe.
Vice Live,
Yeah.
Viceland and Vice Live.
Yes.
Okay, now there were 3 honorable mentions.
Yes.
We don't get to go to the awards. Four honorable mentions. We don't get to go to the show, unfortunately, but we were honorably mentioned.
Yeah.
Along with Jimmy Fallon and Darth Vader and everybody else.
Right.
And I'm saying to myself,
Yeah.
we don't have any comedy writers.
Right.
Jimmy Fallon's got some comedy writers.
Right.
Okay. Jimmy Fallon doesn't have to be a lawyer all day.
Right.
All right, or be an associate producer all day of his own show.
Right.
Right. Or be Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias, man about town all day.
Nope.
Right.
If only.
If only, right.
God.
If only we had all day to prepare for this.
Right.
And only did a 1-hour show instead of a 2-hour show.
Right.
Maybe next year.
And we pre-taped it instead of did it live.
Exactly.
Right.
And we had a 50-person team instead of a 7-person
Yes.
team.
That-
And we were backed by NBC
Right.
instead of Spar and Bernstein.
But given
We
that
have a lot of
Hey.
structural impediments to being in that top 5.
and yet we still broke top 8.
That's right.
Which is
Which
a
is
pretty damn
amazing.
impressive
Which
feat.
is pretty awesome.
So, congratulations. Congratulations. I'm going to do this anyway, whether we get applause or not. Thank you very much. There we go. Thumbs up to the Webbies for honoring us, giving us, and hopefully next year we do it. It's our first time ever being considered for the Webby Awards.
That's
So
a big
congratulations
accomplishment.
to, and by the way, it is Bradshaw Live, but quite frankly, it's really not Bradshaw Live. It's Belgium Kim Live. It's Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias Live. It's Jilly Bean in the back live. Pat Rice in the back live. Julian the TriCaster guy in the back live. Party Rock in the back live.
Party
Pat
Rock live?
Rice, yes, live. Brendan live.
That's right.
We don't have a name for Brendan yet.
We don't. He hasn't gotten a nickname
Soon.
yet.
And Jenny
Sometime.
from the cubicle.
Live.
I don't know. She's just in the cubicle. Okay, she's in the cubicle.
She'll
all
never
day.
be live.
She'll never be live until she gets out of that cubicle.
Actually, the intern live also
the
back
intern
there.
live.
Ashley.
So it's everybody. It's
Yeah.
not. I'm just ego enough just to put my name, Karen. Right down in North Carolina.
Oh, South Carolina.
South Carolina.
That's right.
South Carolina, our producer down there. I just have the ego to put my name on the show, but it's really everybody.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So
Honestly,
thank you.
It's I think Brad, it's whoever has the idea and whoever signs the checks, and given that you're both.
And by the way,
Okay.
this show,
Listen.
and by the way, this show doesn't work without the Brad Squad.
No, it does not.
It does not, and I'm not,
This is
and
facts.
I'm not giving throwing some crap at the wall. This show really doesn't work with you guys. It doesn't work with you coming every day. Your comments make us laugh. Your participation makes us laugh and gives us this energy and gives us these really good vibes to just bring joy and happiness to everybody and help some people. So thank you, Brad Squad, as well.
This is actually the speech that he prepared if we were to win.
all the fans out there who supported us and who voted for us, who stood by
Thank you.
our side.
Thank you.
Actually, I was gonna. That was the speech. That was the exact speech. I sat there for 45 minutes one night. Okay, right the day before, I was so convinced we were gonna be in the top 5. I said I gotta get my speech ready, and then I was about to rip it up, and Jill said, "Don't rip it up. Just say it on the air."
Say it on the air,
Right.
because we still won.
The only thing I didn't add, there was a first part of the speech
Which was?
where I was gonna go up and I'm like, "You like me! You really like me!" But other than that, that was the speech basically.
Wow.
Yes.
This is
It
a
was
great
beautiful.
speech.
Tearjerker.
Thank you
I
very much.
cried. I cried
Thank you.
many
Do we
tears.
have to-
Tearjerker.
Do you have tissues?
I don't even have a tissue here. I'm just gonna blow my nose in the car.
I was gonna say, I'm gonna have to get that hat that makes you look so suave and just cover my face with it while I ugly cry.
Meanwhile, we're gonna start a new segment today here on Bradshaw Live. We tried to do it yesterday, except Julian took the TriCaster into the ice cream truck and froze the TriCaster. But now it's unfrozen.
Right.
So we have a new series we're starting. It's called Squad Patrol. Do we have a card for Squad Patrol? Yes, we do.
Whoa, is that all of us?
Yes. Squad Patrol. One of us.
Is that you?
Is that all of us?
Yes,
The
Brad
Brad
Squad.
Look at that.
And we're going to feature a member of our Brad Squad. Hopefully, as many people as want to be featured.
I like that.
If we can feature somebody every night, we'll try to. Our first feature of the Brad Squad comes all the way from Atlanta, Georgia. Mia Montauk.
Yep.
And
Hey.
Mia was texting me on Sunday. And she was hunkering down for the tornadoes. I assume she's okay because I see her in the comment
She's
section
commenting.
today. She did not get swept away by tornadoes, thank
Yay.
God. And what I learned about Mia is she started sending me pictures of her dog. And let's see some pictures of Mia's dog. She says that's Mia Montauk's dog, and she can't live without her dog. She told me she is a real animal lover. That was not Mia Montauk's dog.
Not Mia Montauk's dog.
We're still not ready for this segment.
I was like, it's a really nice looking
That's
dog,
a nice
though.
looking dog, but that's not Mia Montauk's dog. That
I
is
thought it was
not
a
the
cute dog.
that Mia sent me. Mia is in shock right now.
She's like, that's my dog?
Yes. This is why we're not in the top 5. This would never happen on the Tonight Show.
Yeah, it would.
Again, because they're not live.
They're not live.
If
They're
you watch
taped to
any
live.
live show ever, this totally
Yeah, it's
not
happens.
fun.
Mayrob
not
Patrona
live.
Collins says that's a beautiful dog, but that's not Mia Montauk's
Right.
dog.
I thought it was a beautiful dog.
All right, so tomorrow we will start
can't.
Brad Patrol, Brad Squad. We'll learn about Mia Montauk's dog tomorrow. But it's not Abigail Taylor Watson's day today. It's Mia Montauk's day today, so we're going to start Mia Montauk tomorrow.
All right.
Okay, Abigail Taylor Watson we'll do on Thursday. Okay, but today's Mia's day, and tomorrow will be Mia's day as well until we get this straightened out. It's called hiccups, folks.
All day.
Sometimes you get hiccups. But tomorrow we're going to start. By the way, tomorrow I have an announcement. Tomorrow we're going to start a new segment here on Bradshaw Live. It's called Brad Patrol.
That's
and where
very
we
exciting.
learn about Brad Squad. I just gave you a little tease today. We'll learn about Mia's dog. We'll learn about Mia's dog tomorrow.
Squad
And another segment that we're doing right now before we get to schmoozing
Yeah.
is the Brad Challenge, where I have challenged everyone on the Brad Squad to lose 10% of their body weight in 6 weeks. I'm doing it. Marge is doing it. Tamika, well, should I be announcing who's doing it?
You can.
I can. Cordella, Carrie Ann, Angela. I have lost a total so far of 2 pounds. I am now 178 pounds.
Nice.
And I will be going lower and lower every day.
That picture is so
Is that hilarious? I have been bread free, pasta free, sugar free. I have a lot of bad stuff to get out of my body. I've been detoxing a lot
Yes.
for the last few days, but I'm going to lose 10% of my body weight within 6 weeks. I challenge everyone on the Brad Squad to do the same. So far, Marge Higgs, Tamika Nelson, Cordella Douglas, Carrie Ann Wallace, Angela Barrett, Cece Mitchell, Tanisha Walker, Kennedy Roy, Jessica Leamy, Princess Black, Rococo Chocolat, Carlos Estrella, Rude Boy, Danette Gray, Akhtar, Rama Tulov, Duchess May, Rodrigo Silva, Lisa Bling Rose are all joining me. And
Nice.
Belgium Kim, do we have any results from anybody so far?
We have Jessica Leamy yesterday who said that she lost 8 pounds.
Woo.
Wow, that is a lot.
It
Nice.
can't be true. I've got to call fake news, but that's all we got
Tanisha
so
Walker
far.
says 3 pounds. She lost 3 pounds so
That's
far.
amazing.
So what we're going to do tomorrow is I will announce my weight every day. And if you want to share how you're doing so far, please DM Belgium Kim.
Yes,
And she
please.
will announce your weight before the show or during the show. But please send it to her sometime tomorrow. And
Yep.
how do they reach you, Belgium Kim?
Anywhere you want to, you can send me a private message on Facebook at Belgium Kim TV, or you can absolutely send us a private message on Brad Show Live, also on Instagram, Brad Show Live.
Yeah.
And by the way, Rod J. Roberts, yes, I'm barely over 1% I've lost so far. It's very hard to lose weight, okay, when
It is.
you're used to eating one way. So it's going to be mind over matter. Okay?
You got this.
And I got this, and I'm going to do it. And watch. You're going to see a difference in my face over the next few days. You know, some of the benefits of losing weight include decreased risk of diabetes, lower blood pressure, improved cholesterol levels, more active social life, greater confidence, better sleep, decreased stress, and
Better
and
sex.
if you are going to be ready for Hump Day tomorrow,
Yes.
Yes.
better sex.
Woo!
So everybody join the Brad train,
Whoop, whoop.
the Brad challenge, and let's lose 10% of our body weight
Nice.
within 6 weeks. While I get ready to schmooze Belgium Kim and Jonathan Yo-Yo Ellis, why don't you tell everybody what they need to do to share this and help us share this with the entire world?
Yes, you guys have already started doing it on Facebook, but please, we need you guys to share more right now. So if you're watching right now on Facebook, I need you to click that little arrow, press share. You can share it on people's pages on Facebook. You can share it in different groups, but most importantly, what we need you guys to do is also share it in a private message. And you could also start your own watch party. And with doing that, you can get all your friends that are on your own friends list and have a whole comment section just with you guys, and also come back to the Brad Squad to, of course, let us know how you guys are feeling about the show as well. So now, please, if you're watching on Facebook right now, I also need you guys to interact. And you guys have been doing that so well, but we need you guys in the comment section. We want to know exactly what you're feeling, what you feel about the stories or the shows or anything that we're talking about. So also like, love, laugh, sad face, mad face, whatever you're feeling, I want you guys to show us on Facebook, all right? And what are we gonna do on YouTube?
On YouTube, you guys are first and foremost going to hit that share button as well, and you're going to copy the link and send it to all of your friends and family in WhatsApp messages, WhatsApp groups, and whatever messaging platforms you use to communicate with all of the people you know and love. You're going to let them know to watch the show, ask their immigration questions to get absolutely free answers, and you're going to make sure to let them know to subscribe to the show and hit that little bell right next to the subscription button so that you can get notified every single time we go live. Right there, boom, subscribe and little bell. That's so easy. And now, for the time you guys have all been waiting for, keep telling us how you feel in the comments, because it is the time that you're gonna have a lot to say, and so does Brad, in Schmoozing with Brad.
There you go, schmoozing with Brad. And by the way, before I start my schmooze, I saw Marge Higgs says she's losing weight just for better sex. And I have to admit something, folks. Me too, Marge.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so, Paris is mourning Notre Dame, the fire.
Yeah.
The investigation's beginning. It destroyed 2/3 of the roof of the Cathedral of Notre Dame.
Right.
It endangered a vast collection of Christian relics, but apparently most, if not all, have been saved. The cathedral remains structurally sound.
Right.
The blaze destroyed the wood and lead roof and the lacy spear. But Paris prosecutors said they're going to look into what caused this. It seems like it was caused by some faulty construction workers or a faulty construction.
Right.
We don't know for sure, but that seems to be the theory at the moment. There are several French billionaires that have put money together already and have agreed to donate over $300 million to fully repair Notre Dame. It is a Paris landmark. Notre Dame and the Eiffel Tower. You go to Paris, the Eiffel Tower is 1, Notre Dame is 2, or maybe 2A and the Louvre is 2B. But it's right there with the Louvre and the Eiffel Tower and Notre Dame, and it's what makes Paris Paris. It's what makes Paris special. I'm glad that it's not destroyed. I'm glad that it will be rebuilt. I'm glad that the relics have been saved because those are irreplaceable.
Yeah.
And I am also grateful that nobody was killed.
Yes.
Was anybody injured?
I don't know if
No.
anybody was injured, but nobody was certainly
that's
killed.
good.
Now, the cathedral's main organ did seem to be affected. It's one of the most celebrated in the world. It dates back over 800 years. They do not know whether the organ will be able to be saved or not, but a lot of the other religious relics have been saved. Now, presidential hopeful, now in the early running, he's my man.
Right.
I don't know, I could switch allegiances, but in the early running, he's my man. Mayor Pete, I'm going to pronounce his name right, Pete Buttigieg.
Yeah.
It's not how it's spelled, but yes, Pete Buttigieg.
Yeah.
He's a graduate of Harvard and Oxford University. He's a Rhodes Scholar. He's an Afghanistan veteran. He's a musician. He speaks 7 languages.
Oh my God.
He goes to church every Sunday.
Oh, wow.
He is in a same-sex marriage.
Oh.
He came from out of nowhere in the Democratic field. He is now 3rd, only behind Biden and Sanders in the running for the Democratic nomination. People are lining up behind him. People love him, including Belgium Kim. I'm beginning to like him too. He's a millennial. He's a millennial, yo-yo. He's only
Really?
maybe a year older than you.
Yeah, he's 30.
37 years old.
That's 2 years.
2 years older than you. Okay. And he
Wow,
delivered
to
he
be
delivered he delivered a touching message to the people of France in the wake of the Notre Dame blaze in fluent French. And he said, what, Belgium Kim,
We
in
actually
French?
have the clip.
You have the clip? Let's
do.
see. We do not have the clip. So why do we even have
Okay.
this in here? Oh, we have the clip. Okay. So where is the clip? Let's see.
Partageons le douleur, mais aussi nous vous remercions de ce cadeau à la civilisation.
Wow.
So he said it was actually really beautiful and really eloquent what he said. He said that the Cathedral of Notre Dame was a gift to civilization, and our hearts are heavy for the loss of this, but we thank France for its gift to civilization.
Oh,
Now,
nice.
First Lady Hugh, that's very nice. She wants to know, who is this? It's Mayor Pete Buttigieg.
Buttigieg.
And Mayor Pete Buttigieg has come out of nowhere to take the Democratic field by storm. Nobody was giving him even a chance. And now people are lining up behind him. He is a breath of fresh air in the Democratic Party. He is a liberal with a conservative, other than being in a same-sex marriage, with a conservative from a conservative town who goes to church every Sunday, who put his life on the line in Afghanistan, went out behind the demarcation zone where it was safe into enemy territory with a gun to protect fellow soldiers, did 2 tours of duty, is a Rhodes Scholar, went to Harvard, is brilliant, speaks 7 languages, plays classical piano, very well spoken,
Sounds really
very
good.
folksy, very family oriented, and everything he's saying so far, I kind of agree with. Compared to the orange guy in the White House,
please.
who is a loudmouth,
God.
who never goes to church, who claims to be the champion of the evangelicals, although he's not very church-going himself,
Right.
who skipped out of Vietnam because he had bunions on his feet.
Right.
Meanwhile, the Seattle mayor responded to President Trump. He says his city is not afraid of immigrants. On Friday, the president tweeted that he's going to give serious consideration, and he said he's now going to put it into effect of sending immigrants who are caught at the border to sanctuary cities. The mayor of Seattle wrote back on Twitter to President Trump, contrary to what this president thinks, in Seattle we have strong American values of inclusiveness and opportunity. Instead of threatening immigrant families in the cities that welcome them, this president should spend a little bit more time trying to learn from us. In fact, some of the contributions to America that immigrants and sanctuary cities should be embracing and be happy that they're coming, including that 9 out of 10 cities with the most refugees in the United States saw their crime rates drop. 8 million people in the United States are employed by immigrant-owned companies. 1 in 4 doctors in the United States are immigrants and not born in the United States. 43% of Fortune 500 companies were founded by an immigrant or a child of an immigrant. And in New York, immigrants' tax contributions accounted to nearly 23% of New York State's tax revenue.
Wow.
I'm happy to take them in New York as well.
Seriously.
What else is happening? Aretha Franklin. Posthumously.
Yeah.
Am I saying that word right?
Posthumously.
Will receive the 2019 Pulitzer Prize. According to a release, the Queen of Soul will be recognized for her indelible contribution to American music and culture for more than 5 decades. Just sad that she wasn't alive to receive it. I appreciate it because I loved her and I loved her music. I would have appreciated it more to see her actually collect it, and I wish that it would have been done while she was alive.
I agree. I totally agree about that. We find ourselves like actually, really praising people after they pass.
Let's praise them while they're alive.
Absolutely.
But to what I do also think about to kind of ease my mind from that is that she's gotten so many other awards as well.
That's
and
correct.
she knew the love that we had for her. She knew that she was a legend. So that at least, we're lucky that she lived a full life to understand that.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, I have not won any awards yet, so Webbies, if you're listening, I don't want to get it posthumously. Give it to me while I'm alive. All right. Meanwhile, in other news, WikiLeaks. There was a big issue on the internet because Julian Assange, the founder of WikiLeaks, had a cat running around the Ecuadorian embassy. People were concerned, and we had pictures of him on the internet while he was holed up in the Ecuadorian embassy in Great Britain. And people said, "What happened to the cat?" Well, I am proud. I am glad to announce. I'm proud and glad to announce that the cat is safe. His beloved embassy cat, who kept him company during the years in isolation, is safe. WikiLeaks has leaked the information that we can confirm that Assange's cat is safe. Assange asked his lawyers to rescue him from the embassy in mid-October, and the cat is alive and free. I don't know what that means, but 32,000 followers are now following on Twitter the escapades of Julian Assange's cat. And if you want to follow the escapades of Julian Assange's cat too, you can follow him on Twitter at Embassy Cat.
Embassy Cat.
All right. There is a booming measles epidemic going on now. And about 20 years ago, scientists said the measles have been eradicated from Earth, basically. Until people stopped getting vaccinated.
Right.
And people who were not getting vaccinated said, "See, I don't have to get vaccinated. I'm not getting measles."
Oh, you did?
Well, dumbass, you weren't getting measles because everybody was getting vaccinated.
Right.
Well, now, I just can't stand it when you have to protest against science.
Right.
Okay.
Well,
so I mean, I understand what
like
you're going to say, yo.
flu shot,
Let me
How I feel
finish,
about
okay?
that.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention said 465 new cases have been confirmed in 19 states of the measles, the second highest total since the measles were declared eliminated. There is also an ongoing epidemic in a Jewish neighborhood in Crown Heights, Brooklyn.
I used to live there too.
Yeah, because a lot of the religious Orthodox Jews have not been vaccinating their children as well. And this is what happens, I believe, when people don't get vaccinated. Now, you could say, Jonathan, there is an argument to be said that it is dangerous to get a vaccination. Okay? Perhaps that may be correct. But I believe that it is more dangerous not to have the vaccinations than it is to have the vaccination. That's my opinion.
I think it depends on the vaccination. Obviously, the measles, yeah, you should get that. But now, the flu shot, I do not do flu shot. I have not done it in over 10 years. I'm okay.
Okay. I do the flu shot, but that's your prerogative.
So when you get the flu shot, do you not get sick right after?
Never been sick in my life.
See, I do.
Okay, I got the flu. I get the flu shot every year for at least the last 15 years. I have not gotten the flu in 15 years. I've not gotten sick in the last 15 years. I seem to still be alive and doing a show every day. I seem to be. By the way, Webby Awards, I'm alive still. I don't want it posthumously. So I think I'm going to continue to do it.
As you should.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
You do it?
Oh, absolutely. I do it. And I will say, I do occasionally get sick, but I get sick not nearly to the point of actually having the flu. I have had the flu, and I would take all the shots to avoid that.
All right. And finally, folks, somebody who is definitely crazy is the Florida man. Maybe he will be awarded posthumously. He got killed by his own dangerous bird called the cassowary. It's a large flightless bird native to Australia and New Guinea, and it attacked and killed this man in Florida. It's always the crazy people in Florida. Right?
It is.
A lot of crazy people in Florida. The man identified by the police as 75-year-old Marvin Hajos raised cassowaries. Am I pronouncing it? Cassowaries.
Yeah.
And was injured after falling on a path near their enclosure. The paramedics found Hajos just at 10 a.m. on Friday. After he fell, the bird stuck their head through the cage and pecked him to death. Literally. Why would this man have this bird there?
These things are terrifying. I have seen these birds. They look like dinosaurs. They are straight. Look at this bird, Brad. It is a terrifying bird.
They are considered one of the world's most dangerous birds with 4-inch dagger. A 4-inch dagger-like claw on each foot. And the cassowary can slice open any predator or potential threat with one kick. The powerful legs help the cassowary run up to 31 miles per hour through the dense forest underbrush. Why in the world would anybody want this pet anywhere near you?
So I actually took this video.
All right, I am
the video.
By the way, that's your video.
That's my video.
Yeah, but it was at a zoo.
Yeah. Oh
Okay.
God, and they are terrifying, and I was terrified.
Yeah. By the way, if we were able to get to Brad Patrol today, which we'll get tomorrow, you will find out that Mia Montag loves animals, but I'm sure she would never have a cassowary in her home.
This is crazy. Look at those talons.
Yes.
Why would you put
I
this
hate
in?
birds. Oh, what the heck?
Why?
As Jill just mentioned to me, it has a 4-inch razor on each foot.
Right.
It's like putting a knife on each of your toes. It's like Freddy Krueger animal.
Right.
That's like Freddy Krueger.
But giving it to like a drunk toddler because it's a bird and you can't communicate with the
That's
bird.
Freddy Krueger. You just invited Freddy Krueger into your home.
It's a terrible idea. It's a terrible idea.
It's like having a velociraptor. I don't know what that is.
A
velociraptor is a pet.
Yeah, because they have the
Jurassic Park.
that one, like claw.
Just get you. I saw Jurassic Park. I wouldn't want to be anywhere near these birds.
Look at that. That's a dinosaur.
That's a dinosaur.
That
And
is
it
very
looks
scary.
very prehistoric, I'll be honest.
That is very scary.
Very prehistoric.
Yeah.
Kill them all.
All right, so before we get into we're gonna be answering your immigration questions in about 45 seconds or so. Belgium Kim, can you ask Marge Higgs to give us a total stat update on how many shares we have, and ask people or tell people, demand it from people. I don't want you to ask them anymore. Because when you ask it, they don't do it. All right, demand it now.
We're gonna be firm.
I want you to be firm and demand that they share. Be angry. Okay, look. Let me see your angry face. Let's see it. Get angry. Come on, share, damn it. Share, yeah, there you go. Get crazy, yo-yo.
Oh my God, yeah,
Hey, yo-yo, that was your crazy face. Is that what you get like when you're about to get into a fight with somebody?
I black
get
out.
crazy?
I don't even look like you.
All right. I
want
want you to give both of your angriest faces a demand that they share now. No, you're smiling. That's not your angry face.
That's your Melania Trump face.
You guys better share.
Donald, darling, can I take the plane tonight? That's what you said. Donald, darling, can I take the plane tonight to
You look like
Mar-a-Lago?
Melania Trump. Yeah, do that again. Your mean face. That's Melania.
Yes, Donald, darling.
Donald.
Donald,
I
darling,
so
before you
appreciate
kick out all the immigrants, can you make sure my parents get green cards?
Jessica Leamy said
I
Kim
really
looks
do.
constipated.
That is my constipated face. You're absolutely right, Jessica Leamy.
Why don't you just tell him to share that?
Okay, y'all, we're gonna get real mean and real hard right now. We're gonna say to share. You guys better share. I can't do this. Hey
Yeah.
guys, please share because you love us and you really want to share the show. On Facebook, all you guys have to do is hit share and send it as a private message to all of your friends and family and into groups that you are a member of. And make sure to start a watch party so that everybody can get a notification about what you're watching and they can come watch it with you. And then it can be a whole conversation or, if you will, a party. It'll be delightful. We want to also make sure that we know exactly what you're thinking and feeling about these callers and their crazy scenarios. So make sure to write down all your comments and all of the stuff that you've got to say and thinking and feeling in those comments because we want to know. And you might get shouted out in the middle of the show because you never know when we stop and talk to you. And on YouTube, what are they going to do, Yo-Yo?
All right, on YouTube, you guys are not off the hook, all right? So what we need you guys to do is share as well. In order to share, just click on that little arrow where it says share, and you can share it on anybody's social media platform. But most importantly, we want you guys to start sharing on WhatsApp, of course. WhatsApp, you can create a group and just literally copy the link, share it, one click, and everybody gets it, all right? So just make a group of friends and family or anybody that you think that might benefit or just get entertained from this show. And of course, we are getting our social media questions from you guys as well on YouTube, so we want to hear what you guys have to say. We want to hear your questions. We want to hear your thoughts on what we're talking about, so interaction in the comments, all right? Now, if you're watching on YouTube right now, I need you guys to press that thumbs up. We don't have a lot of thumbs up right now, so what I need you guys to do, everybody watching, Kim is doing it right now, as you can see. Everybody press that thumbs up, all right? And of course, you guys gotta subscribe too, so you can get the notification whenever we come on YouTube. And now for our next segment, you're gonna call Brad the king of immigration with your questions, and he's gonna answer them.
It's something we like to call
Getting answers, call with your immigration
There
questions.
you go. There you go. All right. Nav, he's dying to get the question in because he's been waiting 1 hour.
Wow.
Oh my
Okay? I mean, 1 hour. I can't even, you know what? I can't even make him wait 10 more seconds, right?
wait.
All right, let's go speak to Nav. Nav, how are you?
I'm good, Brett. Thanks. And yes, I've been waiting 1 hour.
I
I
know, my
follow you.
God.
It's great.
Nav, congratulations. I want you to know, congratulations. Nobody has ever waited 1 hour to talk to me on the show before. That is the longest ever of any human being who's ever waited to talk to me on the show. Good for you, Nav. All right. Unfortunately, Nav, we have no time for you. No, I'm only kidding. What's your question?
All right. So I have filed an employment-based green card, and we have interview coming up. And this is in regards to my wife. So she had a petty theft back in 2013, which was dismissed once she completed diversion program. So we have our interview next week coming up. It's a little scary. I mean, it's for me, my wife, and my son, and she's the only one who had this. We have already declared it on 485. And so I'm just worried.
She's gonna get her green card.
Back to the questions and all.
She will get her green card. She does not have a criminal record. She had a diversion program. If you go through a diversion program, it's not a crime for immigration purposes. So she's going in with an arrest, and the case was dismissed. She will get her green card.
Okay. And is there any particular questions that, Brett, we can expect in terms of, specifically going around what happened, explain the incident, did you actually do it? Was it intentional? Can we expect those questions?
Well, you can absolutely expect those questions, and you should be as honest as you can. They cannot deny you unless you admit to a crime, even if you haven't been convicted of a crime. If you say yes, I did it, I killed him, then they're gonna deny you anyway. Okay, so it's actually a good thing to know. Just like, somebody says, did you do this crime? And the case was, you say, I was found innocent, period. That's how I would answer it. I was found innocent. And I assume you will be going with an attorney And as far as what happened, I would answer it as, if it was me, I would answer it as, I got arrested for this, and the case was, I went through a diversion program, and the case was dismissed. That's what happened. That's how I would answer it.
Got it.
All right?
Got it. And just the last question here, thanks for that, and I think this is helpful.
Right.
In case they want some more paperwork, obviously we are taking that along.
Yeah,
Can they hold me and my son's case because of her?
No, and she will get a green card, I assure you. Okay? If they follow the laws, she will get a green card.
Okay, got it.
All right?
That's perfect. Thanks a lot.
Right, good luck.
This is really, really helpful.
Okay, good luck. I'm glad it was worth the 1 hour wait, because now they know how to, what to do and how to deal with it.
Exactly.
All right. Imran in Revere, Massachusetts. Imran.
Hello, Brad. How are you doing?
How you doing?
I'm good. What about you?
Good.
Hello.
I'm listening, Imran.
Okay. So my question is that my wife is U.S. national and we have to file our taxes jointly, but we haven't received one of the insurance documents from the insurance company. So someone has suggested that you can go and file the extension, which is 4868 form. If we file the 4868 tax extension, will this create any issue in the adjustment of status problem?
No.
As my wife is U.S. national?
No, you're entitled to file for an extension on your taxes if you don't have all the documents.
Sorry?
You're entitled to file for an extension on your taxes if you don't have all your documents.
So there will be no issue in the immigration or adjustment of status from F1 visa?
No. You're just going to ask for the tax returns from the year previous.
Okay.
All right?
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome. Let's go to Jason in Salt Lake City. Jason.
Hey, Brad, I have a question for my wife. So I'm a U.S. citizen, and my wife was let me ask you this. I mean, do convictions matter, or do arrest with a dismissed case, does that have more impact on immigration when applying for your citizenship?
Both have an impact. The difference is an arrest with a case that was dismissed may have an impact on proving good moral character. A case where you were convicted obviously is an issue of moral character, plus may make you deportable or ineligible for citizenship. So obviously, you're better off not to be arrested, period. But if you are to be arrested, you'd prefer that the case be dismissed. You don't want to walk into citizenship with convictions. What happened?
So she was not convicted. I mean, she was charged, and the case was dropped for a DUI because her BAC was below .08.
That's fine. And when did this happen?
And this happened in 2011. And then in Walmart, she was basically caught for wrongful appropriation, which is not petty theft.
Right.
It's just, yeah. But
when was that? Petty. When was that case?
This was in 2015.
Okay.
And
when
2014,
did she get her green card?
So she got her green card in 2016.
Okay, so she got her green card after both of these arrests, right?
Yeah.
And the Immigration Service was aware of these arrests, correct?
Yeah, we disclosed both the arrests,
Right.
and they have the disposition and everything with them.
And I assume now she has a clean record since she's gotten her green card. No arrests, no nothing.
No, definitely nothing. She has been clean.
Good. And
since 2015.
And you're a U.S. citizen, and she's married to you. So she's going to become a citizen as long as she can pass her citizenship test, the written English, the history, prove that you're in a bona fide marriage. Immigration's already looked at this, and it was more than 3 years ago, so you're fine. She's going to be fine.
Oh, okay. And I mean, they're not going to bring it up and then
they will
deny it,
they will absolutely bring it up. They cannot deny it. They already granted her green card. She has 3 years good moral character.
Okay, and is that a law that they can deny?
There is no law that, based on what you told me, that they can deny her citizenship based on 2 arrests, one of which may have been a petty offense in which you disclosed it before she got her green card. Immigration looked at it, gave her the green card, and she has since had 3 years good moral character. So there is no law that says that they can deny it. The only reason they can deny it is if you lie about it and you go in and tell the truth. She'll become a citizen.
Okay, and when they bring it up in the interview,
Absolutely, they will bring it up, and you just tell the truth. Whatever happened, happened.
okay, all right. So it's just all right. So it's 100%. 100% that she will get her citizenship.
It's 100% that what you told me will not prevent her from becoming a citizen. I can't tell you what's going to happen. Maybe she can't read English. Maybe she doesn't pass her test. I don't know. But in terms of
in terms
of these arrests, it's 100% that these arrests cannot cause her to be denied her citizenship based on what you told me.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much. And I have a question. Do you handle cases outside of New York?
We handle cases in all 50 states. So
and how do I hire you?
You hire us over the telephone. We send you all that. We speak to you over the phone. We send you the documents by email, and we'll even fly out to Salt Lake City if you want us to go on the interview with you.
And all that is included in the fee, the plane ticket and air ticket and everything, the hotel.
Mm-hmm. Hold on one second.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Hold on one second. All right, let's go to Julian in Brooklyn. Julian.
Hey, Brad, I have a question for you, Brad. Good day, how you doing?
Yeah, go ahead.
Brad, I filed for my wife and went to the interview. We went to the interview November 14th of last year, and up to this day we have not heard anything yet. The inspector officer said that it's going to take 2 weeks, and now it's almost 5 months now. We haven't heard anything after that date.
All right, so two things, okay? And I'm glad that you called, and this is important for everybody to hear. This is what we're seeing now in our office. People who are filing adjustment applications at this very moment for marriage cases are getting their interviews in 5-6 months in New York. They're not waiting years and years and years. People who are filing their citizenship are getting citizenship interviews in 4, 5, 6 months, really fast. What we're also seeing is people who filed a year ago, they still haven't even been scheduled for an interview. Kind of like this LIFO, last in, first out. They're going backwards. They're not going forwards. So for people who went on interviews a while back or still filed a while back and are still waiting, you're going to want to watch me and Abadir in about 20 minutes or so talk about Mandamus. And we're going to be talking exactly about what you're calling about, which is I went on an interview, it's been 5 months and I haven't heard. Let me tell you what the law says. The law says they have to give you a decision within 120 days of an interview. If they haven't given you a decision within 120 days, they're violating the law. So you could do two things at that point. You could sit on your hands and say, okay, they violated the law. I'll wait for them to unviolate the law. Eventually they'll right me. Or you can take matters into your own hands and you go into federal court and you file a mandamus action and force them to follow the law. Those are your two choices. But you're going to watch more about this in a minute, okay? Okay? So hold on 1 second.
All right.
All right, hold on 1 second. All right, let's go to Nikki in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Nikki. 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 Is this Nikki? Now this is Nikki. Nikki.
Oh, yes, I'm here.
How you doing?
I'm just asking. I'm good. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm asking a question for a friend. She is adjusting her status, and they sent her a letter stating that they need proof of the kids that they have together and everything to prove that it's a bona fide marriage. What does that mean? Because she hasn't gone for an interview or anything like that.
Okay, so what it means is this. They want to know this is a real marriage. How do you prove it's a real marriage? You can prove it's a real marriage 3 ways. You have children together. People in real marriages have children together, number 1. Number 2, you prove you live together in the same home. Here's pictures of me together with my friends and my spouse in our home. Here's our lease to our home. Here's bills that are addressed to each other at our home. People are writing us both at our home. Okay. And finally, you prove that it's a real marriage because you have an economic relationship. What is an economic relationship? You share in the debts and the profits of the marriage. So what are the profits of the marriage? Whatever salary you get, whatever salary your husband gets, whatever investments you have, you take all of that money that you get every week, every month, and you pool it together and put it into one account. And then from that account, you pay the debts of your marriage. You pay your credit card bills, your cable bill, your telephone bill, your car insurance, whatever it is. And now you have an economic relationship. And that's how they prove whether it's a real marriage or not.
Okay, so does that mean they would still have to go in for an interview?
They will absolutely have to go for an interview, but sometimes they ask for it in advance.
Okay.
All right.
And another question. The husband filed for himself and the daughter because his wife doesn't have a social. Is that okay?
File tax returns? No, they should amend the tax returns. And what you do is you amend the tax return. If they got married in 2018, they have to file a joint tax return in 2018. If the wife does not have a social security number, they should amend the tax return to file married filing jointly and request and attach a W-7 form to the 1040 return requesting a tax identification number to file the joint tax return until the spouse gets a social.
Oh, wow.
All right?
So that would cause a problem because he didn't do that.
Yes. You want to know why it causes a problem? Because I just said you prove a real marriage in three ways. You have children together, you live together, you have an economic relationship together. When you file a tax return jointly, what you are saying to the government is we are responsible jointly for these tax debts. When you file separately, you're saying my spouse is not responsible for my debt. Now, what is that saying to immigration? That's saying to immigration, you're not pooling your economic resources together.
All right.
You understand?
Yes.
All right, but you could amend it. You can change it very quickly. Hold on if you need help. Let's go to Jay. Let's go to Jay in Nashville, Tennessee. Jay.
Hi, Brad and crew. How are you guys doing?
Good. How you doing?
I'm good. So I have a question regarding our living situation at the moment. So my U.S. citizen spouse and I'll be concurrently filed for a petition and also an adjustment of status for myself from an F1 OPT status, permanent resident. And at the moment, we're currently not living in the same state.
Why?
Right?
Why?
And we're planning to move for school purposes only.
Okay.
But his name is on the lease. He's been paying bills here. Bills come to him here at the house.
Well. You really have to be living together. And to me, what's most important. I mean, you could try to prove that you guys visit each other a lot, and it's a real marriage. I mean, you can do all of that. You're making you're climbing a mountain instead of walking through a door, because immigration is trained. The officers are trained. Do you live together? Do you have an economic relationship? As soon as there's a situation where you're not living together, but wait, it's a real marriage. Let me prove it to you. We travel to see each other. We visit each other. It's because of school, blah, 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 blah. They start saying, I don't know about that. It's not how I was trained to determine if it's a real marriage or not. You would definitely get a Stokes interview. To me, it's more important that you get a green card than you go to the school of your choice. So if it's going to be I go to the school of my choice, but I may not get a green card, I could be deported, or you know what? I'm going to go to a different school and I'm going to live with my spouse every day. To me, it's a no-brainer what you're going to do. Yeah.
I have another question, by the way.
Yes.
So when we filed the I-86 I-864, I believe.
Yeah.
My income was basically the sole income that met the threshold, I believe.
But you're the person who's getting the green card.
Yeah.
Your income doesn't matter. It's his income.
Really?
Yes. It's his income. So, and if his income is zero, then you need an affidavit of support from somebody else.
So even though we're married and I have an income that's above the threshold,
it doesn't matter what your income is. It's the petitioner's responsibility to prove that the petitioner can support you 125% above the poverty level, not you. It's the petitioner. Okay, so get a second affidavit of support.
So since we already filed, I would have to resubmit an affidavit of support then,
Correct.
basically.
Correct. from a second person.
I have to wait for RFE, basically.
Well, I would come, if they don't RFE it, come to an interview with it, certainly. But expect it.
Yeah. Okay.
All right?
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right. Where are we going to go? We're going to go to Edith in Silver Springs, Maryland. Edith.
Yeah, hello.
Hi. Hello.
Yeah, my problem is I ran away from my country from persecution.
Mm-hmm.
I've been coming to the U.S. several times for conventions, but when it was so tough in my country, in Cameroon, I'm English speaking, I came back this time. I could not go back because I knew if I go back...
Well, you're talking way too fast.
And things like that.
Stop. You went too fast. You're from Cameroon. I lost track of the question. You're from Cameroon. You've been coming to a convention back and forth, and now you stayed here and you filed for political asylum. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So what happened since?
So I filed in for asylum. I went in for interview.
Uh-huh.
The first notice was notice to deny, and the last letter I got after that.
Now you're going to go see a judge.
Yes, I didn't go to see a judge. The judge denied me.
So you've been ordered deported.
No work permit, and this is 8 months that I'm here. So I got an attorney. We applied for notice to appear. Up to today, nothing has been said. So I don't know my fate here. I cannot go back to Cameroon. So I don't know what
you got a big problem. I don't know what your claim for asylum was, but you had 2 chances to prove asylum. You got denied by an asylum officer. You got denied by an immigration judge. Your case is on appeal, and ultimately what will likely happen is it's rare that the Board of Immigration Appeals overturns judges' decisions, but maybe in your particular case they will. I don't know anything about your case or what your claim was or what the judge said. So I can't tell you other than either the Board of Immigration Appeals you'll win your appeal and then you'll go back to see the judge again, or you'll lose your appeal and there's going to be a final order of deportation unless you get into federal court. So what I would suggest you do, I mean, it's like you're calling, when you say something like this, you say, hey, Brad, I went for an asylum hearing. It's a trial. It's a full trial where there's testimony, cross-examination, direct examination, submission of documents. I went for this whole thing and I lost. And now my case is on appeal. What's going to happen? I don't know anything about your case. All I can tell you is either you're going to win the appeal or lose the appeal, but you don't need me to tell you that. That's obvious. If you want me to tell you whether or not you have a chance of winning your appeal or whether you have some other opportunity, I would need to review all those records from the court first. And I'm happy to do that, but I can't figure it out here on the show. So hold on one second, all right? Let's go to Calvin in Chicago, Illinois. Calvin.
Hello, good evening, Brad.
How are you?
I'm okay, Brad. How are you doing?
Wonderful. What's going on?
Yeah, I just have a quick question. On April 3rd, me and my wife actually went for our interview. So the interview went well, and the lady asked us if we actually have a any financial joint account together. So we said yes. We gave her our bank statement. So there was a place we actually transferred $700 from the checking account, from the savings account to the checking account.
Mm-hmm.
So when she saw that, she said she needed to see the statement from the savings account and my wife's personal account. So we actually did that and we sent it back to them. So my question now is, after we responded to the RFE, when do I actually get a response from them?
You're supposed to get it within 120 days. If it's more than 120 days, they're violating the law. And just like I told the other caller, you have 2 choices. You have 3 choices. You have 4 choices, actually. I'll give you 4 choices. Okay? Choice number 1 is you can sit on your hands and wait for them to give you a decision. Choice number 2 is you can write them a letter saying, hi, what's going on? When will I get a decision? That really doesn't do much. 3 is you can go to your congressman or congresswoman and say, hey, it's been 120 days. I haven't gotten a decision, and all the congressman or congresswoman's going to do is write a letter, but they can't force immigration to do anything. Or you can file a Mandamus action, which you're going to hear about in about 45 seconds. Me and Abidir talk about, so you should definitely watch. about what a mandamus action is and how you force the government to give you decisions when they're violating your rights.
Okay.
All right, so hold on one second, and you're going to watch this right now, okay? As a matter of fact, we've been talking about it a lot. Spar and Bernstein immigration attorney Abadir Bari, and he joined me yesterday to discuss how we're working to help our viewers, our clients who have been waiting for their green card interviews for more than a year, or they went on their green card interview and it's been more than 120 days and they don't have a decision. That's 120 days is 4 months. Now, I can't express how important it is for people to get their immigration status resolved, particularly in the time of Trump. As Groundhog Sam so eloquently put it, don't be a chump in the time of Trump.
I like that.
So here's a snippet from our full interview from yesterday of Abadir sues the government, green card edition, what to do. Let's watch. We've talked about this in multiple episodes before.
Right.
Tell us again, what is a mandamus?
A writ of mandamus is a lawsuit to the federal courts, because immigration is federal law and the federal courts have jurisdiction. And that act gives the federal judge the power to mandate USCIS to discharge their non-discretionary statutory duty of processing the application. So, in other words, it's layman terms for saying they have to give an up and down vote on that.
It's a federal judge saying to a lower administrative body,
yes,
make a decision.
Yes, and it's an order.
And you better do it because it's a federal order. You'd be in violation of a federal judge.
Right.
Now, what do you say to people? Because I know there's a lot of people out there, they say, Brad, listen, I'm married. I don't want to fool around with the government.
Yeah.
I want to live here for the rest of my life.
Right.
I'll just wait. I don't care if I wait 10 years. I have nowhere to go back home. I'm not suing the government to go get deported.
Yes.
That's not happening.
Right.
What do you say to people like that?
The exact opposite actually happens. When you sue the federal government, it makes sure that your application is properly processed, because now they have more eyes on them. They have the superiors at USCIS saying this is what they call a litigation case, so they take special care of it. They have a federal judge overlooking it, and if they screw it up, we're back in federal court saying it was improperly denied.
So really, it actually adds protection to it, because a lot of times people say, hey Brad, do I need a lawyer to go with me on an adjustment interview? And I say, absolutely. Why do you need a lawyer to go with you on an adjustment interview? The lawyer's not going to be answering any questions. The lawyer's just sitting there. So why, you're going to be the one answering the questions. The reason is because you're in a box with an immigration officer who has total power over you. And there's nobody in that box looking at that immigration officer.
Yes.
You could look at that immigration officer the wrong way and say, and the officer could say, you know what? I don't believe it's a real marriage. You're denied. I don't think you have good moral character. You look left instead of looking right. Immigration officer can do whatever they want because there's nobody overlooking and nobody hearing what they're saying to you and what you're saying to them. That's why you have a lawyer there.
Yes, to protect your rights.
To protect your rights. Now, when you sue them in federal court, not only do you have a lawyer there to protect your rights, you also have a federal judge overlooking them, making sure that they better follow the law.
Right.
So as a matter of fact, it's added protection, not less protection.
Yes. Yeah.
Because people have in their mind, well, if I sue them, then they're going to screw me and I have nobody there to protect me.
Yes.
But as a matter of fact, you have a lawyer and a federal judge who ordered the Immigration Service to do your case, protecting you.
Right. I'll give you an example. So I had a case one time where we went in, they denied the medical, I ended up suing in federal court. We came back, we did the interview again, and then the officer was trying to still give them a hard time and all that. So I just told the officer, you know what, you can write whatever you want in your notes, but you better stand by those notes. Because if you don't, I'm hauling your ass into federal court, and I'm going to depose you, and you better have an explanation for why you denied this. And it better be a legal basis. The next day,
so what happened?
Approved.
Right.
The next day. Because they don't have a legal basis to deny. She was mad, she was whatever, she didn't, like my client, she was prejudiced, but at the end of the day, she thought to herself, do I want everything I'm writing in this? Do I want a federal judge overlook? Do I want to be in federal court? I'm a civil servant. I don't want this kind of,
Do you know how many times clients have come into me and said, I went on my adjustment interview by myself, I don't think the officer liked me and denied me? It happens all the time.
Yes, yeah. You need an attorney with you at your interviews, and then having a lawsuit puts them on the spot to properly adjudicate your application. Otherwise, you can just wait for years. And like I say, a visa delayed is a visa denied. So things will, you think you're okay now, but you're not in solid footing. So tomorrow, if it's marriage-based, you and your wife can have problems. I've had issues where sometimes the petitioner passes away, right? And then if it's not, if the I-130 and 45 people file conjunctively, and if the I-130 is not approved, somebody can step in for reinstatement. I've had tons of those cases, and those cases are actually the ones that are waiting the longest, where you just mentioned, Brad, where somebody has gone through immigration court, their case was terminated. Typically, this was in the Obama administration. After it was terminated, so the immigration court terminated their case and said, go to USCIS to do your adjustment interview. And it got remanded to USCIS. It stayed with USCIS for years, and just got shelved somewhere in storage. 3, 4, 5 years later, they've come to see me, said, what can I do? In those cases, I filed pretrial litigation, and they said, oh, well, we just forgot about it. Imagine that. You think you're waiting because immigration is backlogged, but then you realize, no, they threw your case in some shelf and forgot about you for 4 years. And you could have had your green card earlier, and by having your green card earlier, you also could have applied for citizenship earlier too.
How true? And you could have, and then maybe voted for someone other than Trump.
Trump, right?
Okay, now let me ask you this question: how long do these lawsuits take from the time that you get hired to the time you file a lawsuit to the time you? Is it going to be another year?
No.
Is it going to be another 9 months?
Weeks.
Weeks.
Between
not even months. You're
weeks.
Counting weeks.
Weeks, yes.
To finish up your case.
Right.
Give me an example of literally weeks.
When I file these mandamuses that have been sitting around for years, start to end is less than 6 weeks for them to get the interview.
So it's basically, yes. People call this show all the time and say, yes. Brad, how do I expedite my case? I'm tired of waiting.
Yes.
This is what you do.
Yes, this is yes.
And it's actually better because now you have a federal judge and an attorney overseeing to make sure that the Immigration Service follows their rules and follows their regulations.
When you file, and usually it doesn't even go all the way through litigation, but they typically will get you your interview within a month. And then I set up the case, takes me a couple weeks, so 6 weeks, less than 2 months, tops.
So Abadir, let me ask you this question. Okay, people out there, they've been waiting for more than a year.
Yes.
What happens if they don't live in New York? They live in California, they live in Florida, they live in Georgia, they live in Alabama.
Yes. Well, like
Can you still handle it?
Yes, because immigration is federal law, so the federal courts have jurisdiction. So I just sue in whatever jurisdiction they live in.
So all 50 states?
All 50 states.
You can call Abadir?
Yes, correct.
And what do you tell people who are waiting more than 12 months for their adjustment interview, who are tired of waiting? What do you tell people who have family members who are tired of waiting and they've been waiting for more than 12 months? What do you tell them to do?
I tell them call ASAP. Why would you want to keep waiting for years for your application to be processed when you're immediately eligible for a visa?
All right, so that's Abadir sues the government, and now we're going to do something completely different. Social media check. All right, what do we got?
Our first question is from I Am Diamond Ken on Instagram, who said, my situation is, can I travel to the U.S. after being charged with a misdemeanor? I've completed community service, but I didn't file for an expungement or sealing it. Not sure which to do either. And the thing is, I'm wondering if immigration is going to stop me when I'm coming back, or worst case, would they cancel my traveling visa?
It's very possible. It depends what you were found guilty of and what the punishment was in that particular country. It is inadmissible if you were found guilty of a crime where the maximum sentence is more than a year, or if you did more than 6 months in jail. So I don't know what the penalties are for the particular misdemeanor that you committed and where it was committed and what was involved, but usually you're going to have a problem.
All right, and our next one comes from Elegant Decor 18, saying, can you travel back to the U.S. with a misdemeanor after doing community service?
I think we just answered
Is that what we just did?
Yes, we did.
Okay, that's what I figured. All right, Fashion Parade, saying, now this one's a little long one too. So the person that was already under an Islamic marriage in his origin country and never got a divorce, can they remarry to a U.S. citizen, or would that be considered a sham marriage? Because he came on a, it says A2 visa, but is it a B2 visa?
A2 is a diplomat or working for the United Nations.
Okay, so on the A2 visa, and then filed it for TPS, and all his paperwork appeared as married now, trying to get a second marriage.
Well, I don't know the legality of this Islamic marriage. If it's recognized as a civil marriage in the country where it was, then you need to get a divorce here in America. If it's not recognized as a civil marriage and it's just a religious ceremony, then you don't. It has nothing to do with being a sham marriage. It happens to do with being a bigamist. You can't be married to two different people in two different countries. Now, when you applied for TPS, you said you were married. If in fact it is just a religious marriage and not a civil marriage in the country, you may have a misrepresentation issue. I don't know. I think we need to get to the bottom of this, and I think you would probably need a consultation.
We've got a question from James A. Costigan, who said, hello, great show. Thanks,
Thank you.
James. I have an EAD card with advanced parole, the I-512. Is it safe to travel home to Europe, although I was here illegally for the past 3 years?
Absolutely safe. Don't stay out for more than a couple weeks.
All right, our next one comes from Rang saying, hey, sir, my name is Rhea. I've been waiting for my T visa application for 1 year and 4 months. I already did my biometrics last year on January 9th. And until now, I haven't heard any updates. Even the lawyer who's been helping me, my lawyer is pro bono. Do you have any idea on what I should do? I'm really confused and a little bit losing hope. I can't afford to hire a private lawyer for I haven't been working, so thank you.
A T visa, just for people, you probably haven't heard this one.
T visa, I haven't.
A T visa is somebody who was trafficked into the United States, either as a slave or prostitution, but somebody who was trafficked in by a trafficker and was, used to make that trafficker money. So it could have been slave, prostitution, peonage. You got to pay off your passage, something to that effect. And you have to be able to demonstrate that you helped in the investigation of, it's like a U visa, you helped in the investigation of the people who trafficked you into the United States and that you were a victim of trafficking.
Wow.
Now, this has been pending for how long?
Last year, did the biometrics last year, January 9th.
All right, so I would go to your pro bono attorney, tell your pro bono attorney to file a mandamus action against the federal government, because if it's been more than a year and you're still waiting, and you were in fact trafficked into the United States, you've already been injured significantly. The government shouldn't be injuring you more by delaying all of this.
Yeah. Wow. I haven't heard about that one.
Kanu said, I have cancellation of removal individually on April 10th of this year. So how long do I need to wait for a decision after that time?
Depends on the judge, but usually you'll get a decision in a few weeks.
Tyreek says, can a J1 summer work and travel student seek asylum?
Anyone could seek asylum if they're part of a group that is being persecuted. Member of a group.
Okay.
After I get no objection approval letter from DOS, can I go ahead and adjust my status? TG Forever on Instagram would like to know.
Yes, you can. That's the 2-year home residence waiver for a J visa.
Okay, Mohammed says, hey, Brad, my wife is a U.S. national. We have to file taxes. We've not received her insurance documents. If we file the 4868 tax extension,
yeah,
will
I
this
answered. He called. I answered that. I said, yes, it's okay. You can file the extension.
Awesome. Overcoming says, hey, Brad, my niece is a U.S. citizen filing for her parents who works with authorization. Will it be a problem for them?
That they worked without authorization? If you're
They
filing?
work without authorization.
Okay, but the U.S. citizen child is filing for them?
Yes.
Working out of status as an immediate relative is not a bar to getting a green card. So if you're a parent being filed for by a U.S. citizen son or daughter over the age of 21, if you are a child under the 21 being filed for by a U.S. citizen parent, or you are married to a U.S. citizen, out of status employment is not a bar to getting a green card.
Glamma has an interesting kind of situation going on with a friend of hers. Her husband got his 2-year green card and it expired. Then he got another 1-year green card that expired as well, and they went in for the interview. He told the interviewer that he goes home and is with his wife on weekends, but he stays with his sister in another state due to work during the weeks. They took his brother's number and address, and it's almost been a year now, and they have not heard anything. She'd like to know if your office can be of any assistance.
Of course we could be of assistance, but if you remember the call that we took earlier from the guy from Nashville, Tennessee, where he was on a student visa in a school, and he says, I'm only there because of school, and my spouse is in another state, but we visit each other. This is the same exact scenario. And what did I tell that guy? I said, immigration wears blinders like this. Once you don't live in the same household with the person, they don't know what to do anymore, and your case is pending forever. So this is exactly what happens. So I said, so much better. So much better. Forget the school. It's more important to live together. And the same thing with this guy with the job. Goes to everybody out there. You're like, oh, I'll get a better job somewhere else. I'll make $10,000 more. I'll make $15,000. You make $50,000 more. What good is it if you don't get a green card and you get deported?
All right.
Don't put the cart before the horse, y'all.
Right. All right, Gautam Thomas says, my friend, which y'all know how I feel about this when you say my friend. I really hope that your friend is actually watching as well. I'm about to start asking for proof that their friends are watching.
Tag them. Tag the friends you're asking for.
They should start to say, I'm looking at my friend in the mirror right now.
Right. Yes.
He looks exactly like me.
No, a lot of the times they are asking for a friend. You know, like I've asked for a friend as well, but I make sure that they watch. So we need that support, okay? We're helping you, you help us too. All right, Mr. Thomas says, my friend, Indian national on H-1B is FTE.
FTE?
FTE.
What is FTE?
Of a consulting firm, but lost her project.
A financial, what is an FTE? Something an engineer?
You want to look at this while I
FTD
finish?
Is the florist.
Yeah.
It's FTE of a consulting firm. I'm going to read the rest.
I think it's a position, but I don't know.
I think it's a position because it says that she lost her project.
Full-time employee.
Full-time employee. Got it.
Yeah, so she lost her project at third-party client. She filed an EMP AOS, employee AOS.
Employment Adjustment of Status.
Okay, in November of 2018. Is she violating her status? What are her options?
She's not violating her status because they promised to hire her when she gets her green card. So as long as they promise to hire her when she gets her green card, she's fine. If they have no job for her ever, and she was employed by them for at least 180 days before she lost her job, she can now switch jobs to a different employer who can complete the case by giving a job letter provided it's in the same job position. Did you understand that?
Yes.
Good.
If there ain't no more work, go find it somewhere else.
That's right. Get your resume out there.
Gurpreet says, in 2013, I was cited and fingerprinted for petty theft, which was dismissed post-pre-trial diversion. No admission of guilt. I have the I-485 interview coming up, so I just wanted to check in and see what the best way to handle that was.
Get a disposition, show it's dismissed, and you'll be okay.
All right, Nana says, please, my question was, I filed for my wife on June 2016, and I went on an interview on June 23rd, 2017, and up to time, we hear anything from them, so I think they said that they're saying that they haven't heard anything from them. She got employment authorization renewed on September 2018 and is going to expire again on September of this year, so what should we do?
Rewind the show about 15 minutes and watch Abadir sues the government.
Mandamus.
3 years.
I think about time you start suing somebody.
Man.
Yeah.
Take action. You have to take action, folks.
Yeah.
Okay? Too many people sit back and don't do anything and just say, well, they accept their fate. Okay? You have to take action. No one is going to look out for you more than yourself. And then people get scared because emotionally they say to themselves, I don't want to sue the government because they're gonna go against retribution against me. Well, you sue the government when you have a valid, bona fide, approvable case. The government can't deny you if it's a solid kosher case. Kosher meaning everything's perfect. Because then if they do, they're violating your rights again. You have a federal judge overlooking this whole thing.
That's all we got for right now, Brad.
Good, because earlier this week.
Yes.
I had spoken to a guy by the name of Cor Mulder.
Yeah.
He's a native of Holland, but he came to America with his family legally on an E-2 investor visa to achieve the dream of owning and operating a family dairy 18 years ago. They did that, and they were even named Minnesota Farm Family of the Year in 2013. Wow. But now he has no pathway to permanent residency, and both of his sons have aged out at 21 years old. He has invested a substantial amount of his life savings into this farm, and he now feels he has to liquidate the farm and move back to Holland, losing the American dream he has worked so hard for, and costing the community in which he lives $3.5 million a year in business that he brings to the local economy. Let's check it out. Cor Mulder came to the United States from Holland in 2001 with his then wife and their 2 young boys. They proceeded to build what seemed like the American dream, a successful dairy farm in Minnesota and close bonds with the people in their community. But now, after 18 years in America and still with no path to permanent residency, Cor has decided to liquidate his farm and move back to Holland with his now 2 grown sons. Here to tell us about his immigration and journey and why he feels like he has lost the American dream is Cor Mulder. Thank you for joining me, Cor. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
So you came to America in 2001 to build a life. What brought you to America? Why America from Holland? Was life terrible in Holland?
No, life was not terrible in Holland, but the regulations, it's crowded over there. Those kind of things was hard to dairy farm. I just started about 2.5 years earlier there. And kind of what was on the news at that time is that South Dakota was looking for dairy farmers into the Midwest. They were recruiting all kinds of dairy farmers from Western Europe. And well, come over here, we got room, and we looked into it and said, well, we're just gonna go for the challenge. Kids are young, why not? And that's kind of how we ended up in the Midwest.
And this was in 2001, so you came right before 9/11 then, I guess, right?
Yeah, I came 6 months before 9/11. Yeah.
And you invested your life savings into a farm in South Dakota?
Yeah, no, it's Minnesota. Actually, I'm 4 miles away from the South Dakota border. But I still remember that the planes went into the towers, and that made our lives a little bit harder too, because restrictions got a little bit tighter as far as immigration would go.
How big of a farm did you buy or did you invest in when you went to Minnesota? And how often did you have to come to America to look at the farm, buy the farm, do all the contracts, get the licensing?
Well, that was kind of quick. We did that whole process as far as moving here, and they showed us farms, 500 cows, 1,000 cows, but I couldn't afford that. I had some money, but not build something big or buy something new or whatnot. So we bought an older farm on 11 acres. We came here to look at it in September. 2 weeks later, I came back to sign the purchase agreement, and March 8th in 2001, we just arrived here, and first week of April, we got our first 60, 70 cows in the barn and started milking.
So you were excited about the possibilities. Tell me what you dreamt was going to be your life in America, and then we'll talk about what your life in America has been.
The idea that, out here that are compared to Holland or Western Europe, no rules. It's so much easier because there's room out here. You can just expand so much easier because there was no quota system. You don't have to deal with a lot of houses and people complaining about the smell and all those kind of things. So, we're just going to go for it. And if my kids want to be dairy farmer one day, they will have an opportunity here and not in the situation I would be in Holland at that time. So we were all full throttle, go for it.
Can we talk about how much did you invest into this business?
I brought about 200,000. So my initial plan was probably $450,000 to just to get cows and some machinery.
What's involved? Because I'm not a farmer, I'm a city guy. I don't know anything about milking cows or living on a farm. What's involved in farming? Obviously, you buy the cow, and I guess there's a machine that milks it. You're not going to do it by hand. And then what's involved after that?
Didn't really bring a whole lot of money out to get started. 200,000 is a lot of money, but not for agriculture. I just bought 11 acres, an old barn, old house, a milk parlor, where you can milk your cows. If you have to buy an additional 100 acres, 200 acres, 300 acres, you need more machinery. I couldn't afford that. So I started, call it way on the bottom, more or less. And neighbors started bringing corn silage and hay and that kind of stuff. I start feeding those cows, milking those cows. 2 weeks later, I get my milk check. I pay the feed bill, and I go up for the next 2 weeks. And slowly, bit by bit, you just progress in that. And if there's some money left, you just expand, buy more cows, improve your buildings, and that's kind of how we moved on over the last 18 years.
Did you hire workers?
I have 2 part-time help now. In the beginning, it was me and my wife and some part-time help. And as the boys grew older, they did more and more. And yeah, we slowly grew in cow numbers too. The first year I probably had 110, 120 milk cows, but now throughout the years it's 175 milk cows and 170 young animals, the little calves and all that. So we're on 340, 350 animals. Yeah, and at the moment it's me and my youngest son out here who have to make it work. And that means 80, 90 hour work weeks.
Did you ever make money doing this?
At the moment, no. At the moment, the last 2-3 years.
What about in the beginning? Did you make money in the beginning?
In the beginning, we did, because it's always a roller coaster in agriculture. You got good years, you got bad years, and the good years have to pull you through the bad years. Yeah, the last 2-3 years, it's not great. I hear that the suicidal rate amongst farmers is up at the moment, so that's not a good sign.
That is not a good sign.
That's not a good sign.
So what type of visa? I know. Tell me about the visa. What you know about the type of visa that you came here on?
So at that time for us, the only way to go was an E2 investment visa. That was the way to go. They explained us all what came with an E2. One of the things is that my family members aren't allowed to have a job besides the farm, because you're not allowed to take away jobs from Americans. And the other big thing was, and that's kind of what the whole hype is about, once my kids are 21, they're seen as an adult and they're not on my visa anymore. I'm the visa holder. Let's say in the worst case scenario, 5 years ago, if I would have got killed in a farm accident, basically everybody has to go back. If my investment stops, everybody has to go back.
And did they ever discuss with you? Because there is an L1 visa as well, which would be an intra-company transferee visa that you could have done 20 years ago because you had a farm in Holland as well. Is that correct?
Yeah.
What you could have done was an L1 visa, and you could
Never heard of it.
Okay, and you could have kept your farm in Holland.
And that's not possible because I needed the farm.
You needed the money. You needed the money to buy. Right.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you what another option could have been if you were able to do it. You could have kept your farm in Holland and then made an investment in the United States and said, I want to transfer employees from a European business to an American business that's owned by the same people, which is you. And you can transfer yourself. And then when you transfer yourself after 1 year, you can apply directly for a green card. The problem you've had, I assume, is that you're on the e-visa and there's no easy way from e-visa to getting a green card unless you're going to hire 10 U.S. workers and show an investment into your business of over $1 million. My bet is that you probably have invested over $1 million over the last 18 years, but you don't have the 10 workers. You can't afford to hire the 10 workers, which is the problem.
10 workers means in dairy production is 1,000 cows, 800,000 cows, and then you will probably hire 10 people. That's kind of a guideline, I'm way smaller than that. And financially that's a big step. And the other thing is, do I want to do that? Managing people is different than managing cows. It takes skill to do that. What also included in all that, South Dakota wanted us, and we'll help you. We can do this and we can do that, and so you don't think about those kind of things. There's so many more people like me out here on an E2, and they probably will tell you the same. It's kind of, you're young, you're ready for the challenge, you want to go for it. Kids are young in a lot of situations because that's a little bit more ideal to move too. So we'll find a way as long as you don't kill somebody or whatnot, have a clean record. We will find a way. And my oldest son is already back in Holland.
Sure.
But my youngest one has to go this summer, and I cannot farm by myself.
So you and your wife are together, or your marriage broke up? Now, did it break up because of this investment and the immigration issues that surrounded it, or it had nothing to do with that?
Had nothing.
Right. Over the years, they changed the rules and allowed spouses of E2 investors to have work permits. So I assume at some point your wife did have a work permit. Is that correct?
Yeah, because she started out as a kind of a Norwex consultant, kind of do that on the side. But I still needed help because of all my cows.
What I normally, unfortunately we didn't meet till 18 years later, what I normally counsel people on E2 visas, because unless you're going to have that $1 million to invest, you're never going to get a green card. So you have to keep, as what you're seeing is you have to keep the business going indefinitely. And as soon as you have a bad year in business, you have to leave America. So usually what happens with people with E2 visas is either we say, don't do the E2 visa, do the L1, which we talked about, Or the other possibility, which is not going to help you at this point in time, is that your spouse who gets a work permit gets sponsored in a job.
It's different if you're in that situation. You have to find an employee who is willing to do all that.
Of course,
it's not for free.
Of course.
That's the whole problem too.
Correct. A lot of employers don't want to sponsor. That is correct. If you have the E2 visa, you are legal to work, and if they like you as an employee, they would do it. It's probably not big banks where your ex-wife worked, but maybe a smaller mom and pop would be willing to do it. But it's it's all water under the bridge at this point.
I want to add a little bit to that too, because I think what gets overlooked a little bit is like, I know there are certain constructions. I know that I can keep my kid here on a student visa. The student visa is $8,000. School is more expensive for foreigners. So yeah, sure. But to what cost? You throw 1,000 left, 5,000 right, 10,000, 15,000. Yes, I can make all kinds of constructions to make it work. But first of all, I need the kid right here, because if he leaves, I don't know how to do it. And we're sick of it throwing thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, because we're not talking about $10,000, $20,000, $40,000, or $50,000 anymore. It's way more. And I'm still a visitor. And how long do we need to go through? If we apply for a green card through a certain construction, green cards are getting denied. And once we have a deny on a green card application, that will probably throw another application longer down the road completely overboard.
Well, I don't know what you mean by construction. What do you mean by construction, green card construction?
Well, put up a different setup. Let's say buy a little kiosk, for example, and you can put an E2 on a kiosk.
Right. It depends on what the business is, but yes, you're correct. Yeah. And what you're describing is the frustration that you and many people have, in the sense that we have a broken system, and you have a capitalist society like the United States of America who says, come here and invest in our country, and we're going to make sure that we take care of you. But in the end, there's no process, and the system is obviously broken.
Well, I got 175 milk cows, and for some people say it's big. I know a lot of people have 1,000, 2,000. But they did a study last year, and that study says that every milk cow in Minnesota generates back in the local economy on a yearly basis $20,000 just because of creating jobs longer down the line. Mm-hmm. That means in my situation that I will generate $3.5 million back in the local economy every year. What's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with that. And I'll say one other thing for everybody out there who says we want to help immigrants who follow the law. Here's a man who's following the law, and you still can't follow the law. You've invested millions of dollars in a business, and you still can't follow the law. You still got to leave the country, and you lose everything with it. That's how stupid the immigration laws are. So you go back to Holland. What are you going to do?
I don't know, but I'm so much more positive now. My basement is empty. I started packing. Then in January, we gave up. I sat down with an immigration lawyer in January. There was just not a reasonable way to stay here. So the boys and I said, well, this is it. So I started packing. The basement is empty. I got still a few things out here on the wall. And I figured, well, we're going to go. But yeah, now they're all standing up for us because they find it so hard to believe what we are doing. And we're trying to do the right way. They don't want us to leave. So they started online petition, television and radio. And now all of a sudden, this bomb is exploding. It's all over the country. So I'm starting to get positive that maybe something might happen. So we're not giving up yet.
Well, you're certainly getting a lot of publicity, and that's how we found out about you as well. But you still got to go through an immigration process, which may or may not happen for you, but hopefully it does. What do you feel about the immigration process here that you've gone through? You came here on an e-visa, you invested all this money, you hired people, you contributed your cows. Based on your calculations, put back $3.5 million into the local economy where you are in your town in Minnesota, and there's no process for you to get a green card. What do you think about the immigration process, and what would you tell Donald Trump if you met him about the immigration process?
Yeah, that's the weird thing. My investment visa, I started that process, I would say, early November after we signed the purchase agreement. In January, the next year, I got a telephone call. Everything is approved. So it took 3 months to get that visa. We get turned inside out financially, background check at that time, but that also happens every 5 years if I have to renew. That whole renewal process is 2, 3, 4 months. So how hard can it be to find a path that says, okay, you got an E2 investment visa, you're here 5 years, 10 years, why not make the path to a green card a little bit easier? It shouldn't be so hard.
I happen to agree with you. Where do you see the next 60, 90 days bringing to you? You're going to stay? You think maybe the farming business is going to turn around? Or you just said, you know what, unless there's some miracle from this online petition, I'm out of here. What do you think?
Up to 2-3 days ago, I was called afraid, not knowing what would happen, because it's, I probably have to liquidate my farm because, the dairy industry is on its belly. So it was just cows to the slaughterhouse, and somebody will maybe throw a few dollars at me as far as buying the farm, and then you just pack up and go. But that's changed. I have the feeling that something's going to happen because our E2, and there's many of us out here, are so important for the economy.
The only thing that could happen is a private bill for you. Because, so you need a congressman or a senator to give you a private bill, to give you a green card, to allow you to keep farming. Other than that, unless there's going to be divine intervention, you need a congressman or a senator to do it. And hopefully that happens. Hopefully you get enough publicity and it happens. Well, I wish you the best of luck. We'll watch out for you. And certainly if you want to have a private consultation with me, I'm happy to do so with you as well. Good luck, Cor Mulder. Best of luck to you. I appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me.
And to sign the petition to help the Mulder family, you can go to www.change.org. Losing the American dream immigrant family from Holland being forced out of the country. They already have 39,000 signatures.
Nice. Wow. Nice.
So I hope he gets to stay. I hope lots of people get to stay. We could have a story like that every day.
Yeah.
All right, let's do social media check-in second round, but this is going to be rapid fire second round. We're going to do this as fast as we can. Are you ready?
Yes.
Marge Higgs, our statistician, do you have your time watch on?
Is she ready?
Ready? We're going to do 30 questions in how many minutes?
You tell me.
7 minutes.
Ooh. Oh my God.
Let's do it.
Okay. Dewan Babu said, my asylum's I-589 removal last month. I'm going to appeal. My question is, do I have any options to hold my removal right now?
Appeal gives you a stay of removal.
RV says, how long would it take in an I-130 petition for a relative filing for unmarried sons and daughters as LPR petitioner?
7 years.
Sorry, Sharon said, I've got a fiance that lives in Nigeria. How can I get him to the United States?
It's called a fiance visa, K1 visa. You do it in an I-129F.
Ken Kibbett says, if your vow is denied, do you pay the adjustment fees again, or how do you get around denial? Is it a hypothetical question, by the way?
You would refile again until you get it done right. You would have to pay all the filing fees again.
Mr. Africa said, I'm waiting for my court date in February of 2020. Am I able to qualify for a work permit?
Waiting for what?
An interview. A court date. I'm sorry,
a court date? I don't know. If you filed a cancellation or removal application, you can. I don't know what's been filed in court.
Sexy Shan says, after you receive your benefit letter from filing your I-360, who do you take it to, and how long does it take to get your SS after applying?
You take it to any government agency that's going to provide you government assistance.
DSG Impressions on Instagram says that, oh, I'm so sorry. Nope. Next question. It's J. Anthony Moore said, my U.S. citizen spouse and I are currently living in separate states at the moment. We have already concurrently filed all documents, including travel and work authorization. What do you recommend?
Move in together, like I've said in the last two other questions of the same nature.
Bella says, hey, Uncle Brad, have a question. I'm married to a U.S. citizen, husband on a B1, B2 visa in 2017. We had family issues, so the paperwork was sent to USCIS in 2018, got approved, and USCIS sent our file to NVC 1st of March 2019. So at this point, we're waiting. I was denied entry on my 4th visit to the U.S. and my visa canceled. How bad is this, and what's your advice?
It sounds pretty bad. It sounds like you got deported at the airport and you're going to need a waiver at the U.S. Embassy.
Marie said, I married my LPR boyfriend in Canada over a year ago. I am in the U.S. now on a valid B1, B2, and my husband is waiting for his citizenship interview. Should we go ahead and file my adjustment after my status expires or after the 90 days once he becomes a citizen? Since I was living and studying in Canada during the first year of our marriage, how does he file his taxes?
After the 90 days, after you've been here for 90 days, and after he's a citizen, you file the adjustment. You should file your taxes for the year in which you're in Canada filing married separately, for the years in which you're in the United States married filing jointly.
Hershid says, hey Brad, I'm married to a U.S. citizen. I passed the biometrics and fingerprints on December 13th. And on the website it says April 3rd, my case was ready to be scheduled for an interview, but still haven't got anything after the mail after my biometrics. So how long does it take to get the interview?
The interview, if it was filed this year, in New York, they're coming in 5, 6, 7 months. If you filed it last year, it's going to be 12 to 24 months.
Ortha said, how long does it take after doing your biometric to get an interview date? Your fingerprint was done December 18th.
You're going to wait over a year.
Zone says, I got my biometric appointment, but I went to reschedule it reschedule it. Do I call to reschedule or do I have to mail it back to USCIS?
Just show up late and just go do it.
Prince Awuli said, my friend came back to the U.S. with a BV1 lottery visa after asylum denial and was deported 20 years ago. Can he file for citizenship?
If you got all the appropriate waivers, if immigration didn't know he was deported 20 years ago and gave him a new green card or a new visa, and they were unaware of the deportation from 20 years ago, which is a possibility. When he goes to file a citizenship, it will be discovered and he will be deported. So you're better off to come see a lawyer first before he does anything.
Oyen says, should I mail hold for abeyance letter to my USCIS local office or wait until the interview and take it to the officer? I've submitted my VAWA case, but I have a pending I-485.
Wait until the interview. Never submit anything to immigration unless requested.
Tanya said, does the undocumented immigrant get credit for filing taxes when they're undocumented, when they become legal or a citizen, in terms of being able to collect Social Security in 10 years?
You can't collect any Social Security number, any Social Security when you're undocumented. If you had a valid Social Security number and you worked out of status, when you get your green card, you will be able to collect that Social Security benefit.
Miss China 1989 says, hey, if my I-130 is already approved, but I still don't send my medical yet, can marijuana use affect my case?
Yes.
Del Rito said, how long is it taking for adjustment of status cases in New York from J1 status without the 2-year green card rule, without the 2-year rule to green card and married to a U.S. citizen?
If you are filing right now an adjustment, New York adjustments are coming in at 6 months.
Chrissy says, on the I-601A, besides the lease and bank statement, that's all me and my husband have in our name, and normally, how does it take? How long does it take?
You got to do a lot more than submit a lease to get an I-601A approved. You got to prove extreme and unusual hardship to the U.S. citizen. Go see a lawyer.
Kayla says, I just became a U.S. citizen and my son is a 15-year-old green card holder. Can he get citizenship through me?
Yes, if he's living with you. And by the way, Marge Hicks says 7:43. We're 5 minutes into this.
Yes. First Lady Hewitt says, big up Brad. My grandmother filed for her 3 adult children in 2013 and altogether 12 grandchildren. They all live in Jamaica. Now the NVC is ready to move forward with the payment of the visa fees, but she can't have them all come at the same time. Should she just pay the visa fees for the ones she wants to come out first and then eventually pay for the others later, or is it going to cause a problem?
Yes, do who you want now, do who you want later. Just make sure that all the children are here before they're 21.
We've got a question from Okie428 who said, at what time am I out of status? Is it while the adjustment of status is pending? With the current wait time, is it going to affect traveling on an advanced parole to be admitted back into the U.S. if it's above 180 days?
You're not out of status as a pending adjustment, and you can travel on the advanced parole.
I'm a Survivor is asking for a friend, which like I say, hope she's watching. She's married to a green card holder, and he has he has recently applied for citizenship. What does he need to do to file for her? She's here legally on a work visa.
File an I-130, and when he becomes a citizen, upgrade it and file the adjustment.
J.L. Pra said, we arrived in the U.S. on a B1, B2 visa a couple months ago. What would be our options to be able to stay in the U.S. legally and that would eventually allow us to qualify for a green card?
You're asking Brad, how do I get a green card? There's encyclopedias on how to get a green card. You need a consultation.
Duchess May says, for the renewal, do you have to pay for biometrics?
No.
Diana Charlton said, you helped me get my citizenship 10 years ago when my son was 16 years old. Then he got his U.S. passport through me. He's now 26. Can he do an N600 for him now that his passport expires next year?
Yes, you should do an N600. You could also renew the passport.
Sammy says, when the I-130 is approved, is it for life or a limited time?
The I-130 is approved until somebody revokes it. It's usually revoked at the U.S. Embassy by the National Visa Center. Rarely it's revoked by Department of Homeland Security, but that could happen too. So until it's revoked, it's good.
My wife did forgery on our divorce paperwork, and my I-360 is still pending. What do you recommend?
If you're happy you're divorced, who cares?
And if you're not?
Because you're an I-360, you're an abused spouse. If not, then go hire a lawyer to go reopen your case and yell about forgery.
Daniel Lokanga says, I'm in the U.S. with the F1 and I have a petition for family reunion. I'm over 21. My question is, how long is it going to take in order for the petition to be approved?
What is he doing?
He's in the U.S. with the F1 and he has a petition for family reunion and he's over 21.
I don't know what family, I don't even know what that means. It could be 100 different things. By the way, March Hicks says 7:45. We hit the 7 minutes. How many more questions we got? I didn't do it. We failed.
We have.
I think actually we did.
We succeeded because the questions we have left are brand new and were asked after we started. We're asked
so I did.
less
Did I
than
do?
7
Did I
minutes
do? Did I
ago.
do 28 questions in less than 7 minutes?
Yes, you did. As a matter of fact, you did 29 because I snuck one in there that Jenny from the cubicle.
I said I was able to do it.
You did it.
I said I was able to do it. All right, so we have 9 left.
We've got about 9 left. Do you
All
want
right,
to get through
last
them?
9 in 3 minutes. Let's go.
Great. We've got one from Sharna who says, I filed under the VAWA and did the biometrics from last August, but still haven't received anything then. Is this the normal waiting period, and should I be worried?
Normal waiting period is over 2 years, but hopefully you got a work permit.
King Dane says, what's the latest on SIJ over 18?
There is a decision by the Southern District of New York that says that the government has to give SIJ approvals to all of the cases that are pending, denied, or on appeal within 60 days. Come see me.
Sasha said, if your husband is convicted, can he still petition for you? He was convicted for hitting his ex.
Yes.
Dip Patel says, can you publicize the bill, E2 Visa Improvement Act HR 2124, introduced last week, 10 years path to green card?
I have no idea what that is. I don't read every introduced bill into Congress. There's millions of them. When it passes law, I read it.
Munchie KG Yadi said, if a petitioner lost their naturalization certificate, can they still file for their spouse without it? And if so, what would they put on the I-130 where it asks for the certificate number and the date, seeing that it's lost?
Right, lost, and show a copy of your U.S. passport.
Audrey Miller says, how long is after filing for adjustment of status to get an interview in Louisiana?
I don't know off the top of my head, but right now in New York, it's about 6 months if you file right now.
And we've got, that's our final question.
Marge Higgs, did I do it?
We had some doubles.
Oh, doubles. All right, so that wasn't total 9. All right.
Now, whew. Okay.
I'm going to sit back and relax and listen to comments of the day. What is this?
Sign language.
What is like this? I don't know what the hell's going on here.
They got into some of the stressful times.
That's right.
Ooh, do you see us sweating yet?
Yeah, Kim's like, all right, you go first with the comment.
The funny thing is, I had got it the first time, but she just kept on.
Kim got nervous there for a second. Jeez.
Yeah.
All right, our first comment of the day comes from Rajay Roberts saying, Brad Show Live, an elite company. Scrap that. This is... Wait.
That's yours. It's fine. That's fine. I'm glad you got it.
Elite company. Thank you, Raj J.
Start again. I don't even know what the comment was.
Yeah,
Start
J.
again.
Roberts. That's fine.
Rob J. Roberts.
I don't
Start
get
again.
it.
No.
All right. Drum roll, please.
Is it this one?
No. Read that same one you just read, babe.
That's what I said.
Right.
Say it again, because nobody understood.
Right.
Rock J. Roberts says, Brad Show Live, an elite company.
Woo!
There you go. In an elite company, because we were with Jimmy talking about the Webby.
Okay.
All right.
Boom.
All right. Yo is like, I think
I checked out.
I think he checked out.
20 minutes ago.
He checked out at question number 7.
Like, what's crazy is that I sent it to Yo-Yo, and then I immediately said, scrap that, not today, and then put a bunch of points so that it's like, don't read.
All right, 1 second. Come back to me a second. Comments. of the day. Let's do this again. Here we go. Comments of the day. Are you ready now? Are we ready for comments of the day?
Yeah.
We already had it.
That was it.
Yeah, we got a few more.
Okay, so Laura, let's go.
All right, we got a second one from Lisa Blaine Rose, who said, "We are here, one big family, but some of us has never seen each other. We only communicate on Uncle Brad Live."
It's true.
All right, and our third one comes from First Lady Hewitt on Facebook saying, "Chicken foot soup and Bradshaw Live, my kind of evening." This,
Boy,
ooh,
that's my kind of evening too.
Chicken foot
soup, and it's my kind of evening too.
I've never had that. Oh, that. Oh no.
Oh
man.
my
No.
gosh.
Oh man.
And in response to it, we had Patrona Collins, who has disappeared, who said, "Well, after that, I'm never eating chicken feet again."
It's about the cassowary.
Right, about that. Well,
It's
after
about
that,
the cassowary.
that's-
Chicken
the
foot
cassowary.
soup. Right, the cassowary.
I do want to say,
yes.
Remember I told you guys about the young lady, Jazz, who works at the Jamaican spot across the street that knows you from Brooklyn, saying, if you don't know Brad, you don't know anybody.
Right.
She is in the comments, Juan Davis, saying you're full of fun and interesting information. So shout out to her. I better get a free meal.
Free meal for Yo-Yo up in Harlem, right?
Yeah,
we're all going to come up.
Yeah, right. And also, everybody, you can also, quickly before we leave, tomorrow's Hump Day. Don't forget, make sure you join us on time tomorrow because we'll be 10 minutes late. But in the meantime, you can follow me on @RealBradBernstein. If you're part of the squad, and I know you, I will follow you back. You can chat with me just like, who chatted with me? Mia Montauk chatted with me on Sunday. And you can also follow @BradShowLive. At Bradshaw Live, you're going to see all the people who are in our show, including you will get to see all of our interviews, including our farmer, Cor Mulder, who is on today, as well as all our other guests as well. You can also follow Belgium Kim and Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias where?
At Belgium Kim on Instagram.
And Jonathan Elias TV on Instagram.
All right, we'll see you all tomorrow. Thanks for watching. So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's bad enough I've got to remember everything that happened on the episode from the previous day.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein law firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And now, conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAWLINK. 1-800-529-5465. What are you doing?